Coronation Street left viewers holding their breath after the latest episode, as Theo suddenly turned violent and attacked Todd in a deeply disturbing sequence. But the moment that truly unsettled audiences came afterwards, when Todd appeared covered in blood, barely able to keep himself standing, and instead of asking to go to hospital, he insisted on being taken straight to the police station. That detail alone has sparked one huge question. What exactly happened behind the door of that flat? The April 13th episode pushed the tension to its breaking point when Theo locked Todd inside the bedroom and took complete control of the situation. Theo's behavior was not simply angry. It was intensely manipulative on a psychological level. He kept switching from one extreme to another, speaking softly and telling Todd that he meant everything to him, only to turn vicious again moments later with insults and threats. That emotional instability suggests Theo was no longer in control of himself, but it also reveals a deeply twisted form of attachment, where he wanted to keep Todd close while also punishing him. His refusal to let Todd leave, driven by the claim that Todd would betray him, made his possessive mindset even more chilling. When Sarah, George, and Summer arrived, Theo was still composed enough to build a convincing front. He answered the phone and lied that he and Todd had already left for Belfast. That shows Theo had not completely lost control. He knew exactly what he was doing and was actively trying to cover it up. Meanwhile, Todd tried to stay calm and negotiate his way through the danger. He agreed to cooperate and even promised to call Sarah himself to support Theo's lie if he was allowed out. It felt like the reaction of someone under threat, focusing on immediate survival and looking for any chance to escape, rather than confronting the abuser head-on. That chance seemed to come when Theo went to take a shower, but Todd quickly realized he was still trapped. The door was locked, and Theo still had the keys. When Theo came back, he did not just stop Todd from escaping. He deliberately taunted him, jangling the keys in front of him before forcing him back against the wall. In that moment, the power imbalance could not have been clearer. And then the scene cut away. The next time Todd was seen, he was covered in blood and barely able to stand as he made his way to Sarah's flat. He collapsed outside, and while help was rushed to him, the most striking detail was that Todd refused hospital treatment and instead demanded to go to the police. That reaction opens up two possibilities. One is that Todd had finally decided to report the abuse and expose everything Theo had done. But at the same time, the panic and urgency in his condition could also suggest that something even more serious had just happened, possibly a struggle that spiraled beyond anyone's control. It is no surprise that viewers immediately started fearing Theo might be dead. Some theories suggest Todd fought back in desperation and may have accidentally caused devastating consequences. The fact that Todd was drenched in blood yet still managed to escape only makes the situation more ambiguous. Was it Todd's blood or Theo's? However, upcoming scenes point in another direction. Todd does go to the police to report Theo, and Theo is still alive, even trying to flee. That confirms the confrontation did not end in the darkest possible way, at least not yet. Even so, Theo's continued presence in future scenes, especially the flash-forward material filled with danger, suggests he remains trapped in a storyline that is far from over. What happened in that flat may only be the beginning of a much larger fallout. For now, Theo's fate still hangs in the balance. Once tensions have risen this far, there is no real way back, and it feels like only a matter of time before everything finally explodes. If you want more Coronation Street updates, theories, and the latest twists, do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss any key developments.